Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports, this is another football video, and today I'm going over my Week 8 predictions for the 2022 NFL season. These are probably the predictions I've had the most confidence in all year, compared to the other weeks of the season. That's not saying a whole lot, considering the rest of my picks have not been great, but also, it's kind of hard to pick this year. So, we're going to get right into it. I think I have 4 games this week where both teams are scoring 20 points or less. Starting off with Thursday Night Football, we have another pretty stinker of an offensive game against the Ravens and the Buccaneers. I have the Ravens beating the Buccaneers 16-15. I think that Baltimore is going to score the only touchdown, and we're going to go back to our drought of Thursday night touchdowns after the Saints-Cardinals game gave us a little bit of a break. But after Tampa's game this week, I really have no faith that any of their games will be interesting for the rest of the season. The Ravens also have had pretty boring games. They've been close. Every game that the Ravens have been in has been close, but none of them have been exceptionally interesting. It's usually lopsided for half the game and then lopsided the other way for the other half of the game. And I think this will be a combination of the two. I think Tampa will score 5 field goals, and I think the Ravens will score 3 field goals and a touchdown. And they're going to win the game. Or they could have an extra field goal, go for a 2-point conversion and miss it, because that's what they like to do as well. So that's another option. London, we have Jaguars-Broncos. I have the Jaguars beating the Broncos 19-18. This is basically a Thursday Night Football game, but at 9:30 in the morning on a Sunday. Denver is playing. That means that the score will be less than 20 points for the offense and less than 20 points against for the defense. I have the Jaguars winning 19-18, just because I think that the Broncos do not have a possibility of scoring a touchdown next week. Why? I have no idea. They just can't score touchdowns, no matter who's the quarterback. They did score one last week, which is more than Russell Wilson usually gets. But, yeah, I have the Jaguars winning 19-18. Horribly boring games to start off for the first couple of games. 1 o'clock games are actually kind of interesting. We have Raiders-Saints, we have Dolphins-Lions, we have Falcons-Panthers, we have Vikings-Cardinals, we have Cowboys-Bears, we have Eagles-Steelers, and we have Patriots-Jets. I have the Raiders beating the Saints 30-27. I think that this will be the most interesting game this week. Not this week, for the 1 o'clock games. I think that the Saints are going to put up a fight. Their offense has been strong in pretty much every game, but their defense, which has been one of their most noticeable factors of their team the last few years, has been horrendous. Possibly because of the loss of Sean Payton, but yeah, the defense has been horrendously bad. I think the Raiders are going to win 30-27. This is a must-win game for the Raiders. If the Raiders lose this game, I have no faith in their season continuing in a positive direction. If the Raiders win this game, then they'll be 3-4, and they'll have won 3 of their last 4 games, and they'll be looking to continue to improve. But this is a must-win game for them, in my opinion. If they lose, then they're in a really, really, really bad position. Dolphins-Lions, I have the Dolphins beating the Lions 38-31. Important matchup here for the Dolphins. They did beat the Steelers this week, 16-10, but it really was not an impressive game. Tua will be back again next week. Hopefully he'll be able to adjust a little bit more off of this past week, and he'll be able to get into a better offensive rhythm after being out for a few weeks. He is 4-0 when he played the majority of the game, so I think that is a major benefit for the Dolphins going into this game, and I think that that Tua will improve to 5-0. I think the Lions' offense will also figure it out. Hopefully, Amon-Ra St. Brown will be able to play the whole game. Hopefully, DeAndre Swift will be able to get back. Hopefully, they'll have all of their injuries figured out. Falcons-Panthers, I have the Falcons beating the Panthers 24-20. This is surprisingly one of the most interesting games of the week. I think that with Chuba Hubbard out, Dontrell Hilliard will get the majority of the carries. With Chuba Hubbard injured, Dontrell Hilliard will get the majority of the carries. And I think that he's going to have a phenomenal game, but the passing offense is just going to be too incompetent for the Panthers to win. I think Atlanta will take it by 4. I have the Vikings beating the Cardinals 41-31 in one of the most exciting games of the week as well. I think that Arizona is going to put up a fight. I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to have a phenomenal game, but I do think that the Vikings will be able to win this game. And if they do, then I think that their chances of a playoff spot are almost guaranteed, and I think that if the Cardinals win, then they could be, and they'll advance to 4-4. They could be favorites to win their division, or they could be favorites to make the playoffs. This is a kind of a must-win game for Arizona. If the Vikings win it, I think that the Vikings almost guarantee win their division. If the Cardinals win it, then if the Cardinals lose, then they're almost out of the playoffs. So this is a very important game. Cowboys-Bears, I have the Cowboys beating the Bears 20-4. I think there's going to be 2 defensive touchdowns by Dallas and 2 safeties by the Bears. The only offensive points scored will be 2 field goals by Dallas. Eagles-Steelers, I have the Eagles beating the Steelers 27-17. Not much to be said here. I don't think this game will be close. I think 17 is generous for the Steelers offense, but I do think that they'll be able to have a decent game. And for Patriots-Jets, I have the Patriots beating the Jets 17-13. Breece Hall is out. I think that that's going to be a major factor in the game. Breece Hall has been one of the major influences of their offense the past few weeks, and I think that with Breece Hall not playing, it's going to be hard for the Jets offense to get a whole lot going against the Patriots defense. I don't particularly think the Patriots offense will play extremely well either, because the Jets defense has been very strong the past few weeks. I think that we could score more than 17 points, but I really don't think that it's fair to have a more than a 1-score margin for the Patriots, even if I do think that they are favored with Breece Hall being injured. 4 o'clock games, we have the Titans-Texans, we have Hawks-Giants, we have Niners-Rams, and we have Colts-Commanders. Titans-Texans, 31-20. I think that this will be a somewhat interesting game. It's a divisional game, obviously, so it's going to be interesting. AFC South games are always interesting. You never know who's going to win them. Tennessee usually has a pretty strong hold over the AFC South, but you really never know who's going to win in the AFC South. Any given Sunday, the worst team in the league can beat the best team in the league as long as they're both in the AFC South. Hawks and Giants, I have the Seahawks beating the Giants 40-33 in what I think is the most or second most interesting game of the week. Also a major game for playoff positioning. The Seahawks could be looking to win their division, and a win over the Giants would be massive. The Giants are also looking for a win because they want that 1 seed. Although I don't think it's realistic for them to get the 1 seed or to win their division. If they beat the Seahawks, then they're looking even more legitimate, and that's another reason why it's a massive game for them. Colts-Commanders, I'm just not going to comment on that. And then Niners-Rams 34-20. I think that this will be a pretty interesting game, but the Rams' offense is just too lethargic that I think that the Niners should be able to carry it. Bills-Packers, have the Bills beating the Packers 31-19. Packers have looked horrendous. I think the Buffalo should win by at least 2 scores. I don't see the Packers winning this game. If they do, I'll be shocked. And pretty happy, because Buffalo will get another loss on their record, but I would be shocked. As for Monday Night Football, we have Bengals versus Browns. I have the Bengals winning 37-23. I think that this will be a tight game, but the Bengals will pull it out towards the end. I think Joe Burrow is hitting his stride. I think that he's really coming into his own. He did it at the end of last year, and then he kind of had a slower start this year, especially with 4 interceptions game 1. But since then, they've really improved, and I think that the Bengals offense is going to be clicking on all cylinders against the Browns. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Insane NFL season so far. It's been one of the most boring and most interesting seasons of all time because the games have been boring, although the season has been very interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys all next week. Peace.